The latest coming from athletics this evening as President of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, Tonobok Okowa, has insisted that thatFavour Ofili's decision to switch allegiance from Nigeria to Turkey was financially motivated, contrary to the athlete's claims. Okowa, in an interview with newsmen, explained that both World Athletics and the sprinter had communicated the decision to them. However, he reportedly dismissed Ofili's explanation that her move was due to repeated negligence by Nigerian sport administrators at the Tokyo 2020 and Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Temple, let me start with you. What do you make of it? The president of the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, Tonobok Okowa, has come out to say that thatFavour Ofili's decision to switch allegiance to Turkey is financially motivated.
Okowa will always have something to reply. They don't want to take responsibility for a perceived maladministration, okay? It is clear, it is clear even to the blind and very glaring, sound very clear, very audible to the deaf that something is not going right and we need to up the activities of our administration. So, but then if it comes out to debunk that is expected, they want to do a disclaimer by refuting the claims from Ofili that why she left, regardless of whatever made her to leave, the fact is that we lost an athlete due to maladministration or ill administration, and they should take responsibility. If it wasn't so, committees will not be set up by the former minister Eno. If it wasn't so, the rejigging we saw in the athletic position will not be done. If it wasn't so, a lot of talks around it will not have been enhanced. I mean, we see these things, we know these things, but what do you expect from a federation president? He's not expecting to take all the bullets. The same man who came out to say that, yes, he agreed that Ofili left because of issues. Why come out now to debunk it? Is it to encourage those who are preparing to leave or something? I think that it is high time we take responsibility for our action so that we can be strong enough, we can be bold enough to correct the ills that has bedeviled athletics activities in the country.
Mr. Bassi, I know you heard about the switch of allegiance of thatFavour Ofili, but today the Athletic Federation of Nigeria President Tonobok Okowa has come out to say that thatFavour Ofili's switch of allegiance to Turkey is financially motivated. I don't know, what's your stance on that?
Well, I think I align myself with what Temple was trying to say, because you see, now we need to ask ourselves some questions and be very truthful. Were there issues of negligence as far as the recordings of thatFavour Ofili was concerned by the Athletic Federation of Nigeria? And the answer is yes. An athlete who had prepared long time enough to get involved in an international competition, missing that opportunity not because of her inability to qualify for the games or the round she was supposed to take part, but just because certain people who stay in the office and has never been on the track to run, don't know what it means to wake up, go to the gym to prepare for a big tournament, sat in the office and for whatever reason did not do the proper documentation, and that led to her missing a chance of showcasing her talent. I mean, it's very disappointing. It's terrible to say the least that the federation, or as big as Athletic Federation of Nigeria, can miss such recordings or such documentation, leading to a young athlete who has been preparing for years to be a part of the competition, to miss out, not because of her fault, but administrative fault. And so, yeah, we can't dispute the fact that that can be very provoking, and that can also lead to an athlete reconsidering, am I even really appreciated enough by these people, or should I go to where I am going to be appreciated enough? Like it or leave it, anyone who come out to say anything, of course, he's the president of the federation, so he needs to defend their mismanagement of the federation. And so coming out to say it's because of money, that's why she's leaving. I mean, even if you want to talk about the financial reward, who wouldn't want to leave? We have an MPFL, we have things where people run out to go to where they're going to be rewarded better for their effort. And so why should the case of Favour Ofili be a different situation? The girl tried to justify why she left, and you're talking about the monetary aspect of it. You take your part, let her take her part. The good thing is that she has left, and she has gone to where things are done properly. And so for me, I think the Athletic Federation, instead of trying to come out to, get a bad name to attach to the Favour's move, they should come back and try to make sure that such mistake doesn't repeat itself, that they are able to get all their facts proper before a competition, comes around.
Now, we understand that the Athletic Federation of Nigeria boss, Tonobok Okowa, added that he had no objection to Ofili's personal choice, but took issues with the reasons she publicly gave. Okowa also drew attention to other athletes who have switched allegiance to Turkey in recent time. Ofili had announced on social media that she would now represent Turkey after years of competing for Nigeria, citing disappointment with the Athletic Federation of Nigeria and the Nigeria Olympic Committee as the main reason for her decision. She highlighted her exclusion from competition in Tokyo due to mixed tests and the failure to register her for the women's 100 meters event in Paris as major frustration. Her defection adds to Nigeria's long list of athletes who have switched nationalities in the past, including Francis Obikwelu, Glory Alozie, the likes of Florence Ekpo, and Sawa Ednasa and Femi Ogunode, many of whom went on to flourish under their new flags. And that brings me to the question, Temple. Favour Ofili has successfully switched allegiance. Do you see her, of course, putting up very huge feats, for Turkey?
Yes, I think so. But whatever she does with the Turkish side will, except she gets to continue her feat of breaking records. Except so, Nigeria have a way of hyping things. Little things gets to the pinnacle of the media world because Nigerians have a way of appreciating their own. I do not know how far that can be seen, except she did it. She does it at a place where Nigerians will still grace it because there are Nigerians who are strong vanguard, who have strong. She has acolytes in Nigeria. So wherever Ofili goes, they follow her there. So she needs to be performing exceptionally, break records like she did this year when she set the 150 meter, at least 150 meter thereabout, that record. And she should be performing well. If the only pain that these followers will have and her name will be diminished a little is when she's not having that show time. And when she's not living up to the expectation that is desired. But I think that she has built a brand for herself, and wherever she goes to, it's just like a star. Wherever you are, it's like a goldfish, you get to be discovered. She will always come out because if she goes out, there are journalists in Nigeria here who will write about her. Today, Ofili is presenting Turkey in so Grand Prix, in so athletics event. And of course, they'll keep tracking her. And by virtue of that tracking, we'll get to know the common man in the street who loves Ofili, knows that Ofili will participate in, and you can't stop it because she's already a renowned elite athlete.
All right, Mr. Bassett, let's take a look at how her departure, of course, will affect athletics down here in Nigeria. Of course, we understand she competes in the 100 meters and as well 200 meters as well. What do you make of it, Ofili's absence? How will it affect athletics down here in Nigeria?
Well, you have to first of all talk about the records and of course the achievements she brought while she was representing Nigeria, and so that's what we're going to be missing because we're not going to have someone in the mold. We're not going to have that same Favour feel again. But I think in a case like this, the vacuum cannot be left that way. She has left, and I think it's up for the federation to see how to bring up someone immediately to fill that particular void, because definitely major championships around the corner, the Olympic Games, people are preparing already for it, and so you need to start preparing athletes that will be qualified to race and replace Favour Ofili. We are a country of over 250 million people. We have stars scattered around everywhere, and so I think our departure will only create an opportunity for other up and coming sprinters and athletes to take up their position and continue. That vacuum can be left, on field. And so yes, she has left, and I think the federation now is on them to see how to, get a replacement real quick, to see how to raise it. The good thing is that we are a country of talented people. Talk about in every areas of sports. We have people who can actually come in at every point in time to rescue things, and I'm sure our departure, yes, will be felt maybe in a short term, but very shortly I'm sure there is going to be another person rising up to the occasion, maybe not another favor, but someone who will even give us more victories and more laurels and medals than Favor has done. Yes, she has paid her dues. Time for her to leave, but I think the federation should also learn from this incident. We need to take our athletes more seriously, because these people who have their talents can also be appreciated elsewhere. So if you do not nurture what you have and you do not preserve it, they move ahead. You can't continue having this brain drain, this talent drain every now and then. People leaving the country to go compete for other countries. What are the other countries doing right and doing wrong? I think these are the lessons we need to put in place so that it will guide us, so that when other up and coming athletes become stars, they would also take the same route that Favor is taking to need to compete for other countries. Let's be proud to compete for Nigeria. But before we are proud to compete for Nigeria, those in the end of affairs, those managing our federations, those managing our sport athletics must do the right things to ensure that our talents stay back to compete for us and not always running over to other countries to compete for them.
Temple, what's your assessment on the administration of Tonobok Okowa so far? And as well, what should be done at this point in time? What should the Athletic Federation of Nigeria do to cope the situation of athletes switching allegiance to other countries?
It's unfortunate that we don't learn in this part of the divide, and so kind of be very difficult to really say things here. We've always postulated panacea, all right, maladies. We've always come out with things that would better, when we hear things like this, and that's why we are pundits. Unfortunately, these administrators sometimes do not take heed to some of the things we say here. They see them as on-air conversations that will end on air, and then it's for the people who listens, and that's kind of disturbing, because I think that I've said it before. When this news broke 2 months ago, we looked at it and we felt that do the right things. Yes, there are grants given to athletes, no doubt, but beyond the grants, for crying out loud, these athletes, they play their life. Almost everything they do is about representing themselves and the country. And when athletes do that, Donald Trump recently, before the gene stuff, just when they talk about the gene, Donald Trump told them that there are grants. Even Venus Williams came back to play because of the grants given to athletes in the United States of America, who are still in active service. That tells you how those athletes value the FG grants. So I think that if these grants they are sumptuous enough to attract them, bros, for crying out loud, if our president can donate those big sums to those who have done exceptionally well, the ones in service, you don't pay them monthly, you give them grant and scholarship. Why not ensure that they are well cared for? Even to be fair, these athletes are not asking for too much. If we go for athletes needs, please prepare us well. Give us our flight ticket. Give us good welfare. They are not asking for too much. So I think that every year the budget of the federation should be geared towards the welfare of these athletes. When the welfare of athletes are prioritized, it gives room for it is called the intrinsic desire. They are internally motivated. Let's talk about other things. Externally motivation cannot be, I want to hit this target. That could not be a forecasted strategy for them. So I think that until we get to that level, we are just joking, because umpteen time we have clamored for a system where it is transparent, things are done justly, and there is less or no nepotism or in any way or politicization of activity. So if we clear these things and things are probably channeled, the ones that are coming up, we know that okay, it's true, these things are going well. And when proper decision is set up, I tell you, it becomes easy for athletes to give their life, their heart, you know, for their country.